I'd like to see a lot more done. I'd like to see some real plan to ensure that at the grassroots level, we're really growing the talent. That we're not taking older players to go
Right,
and pass
right.
them off as
Yeah,
children.
yeah, yeah,
M-Pesa.
yeah. But we have George Ado Jr. on the phone. Hello, George.
Oh, Junior.
Hello, Kofi. How are you
Charlie,
doing?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm
We,
good.
we
Senior
haven't met
Ado, how are you
we,
doing?
we haven't met since you returned from London.
Did you hear what he called me?
No, I didn't.
George. Junior.
Senior Ado.
Junior
Senior
Ado.
Ado.
I'm
Oh,
well.
senior. Okay, 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 okay. George, how's your day going?
Hey, well, it's been great.
Mm.
Yeah, from the office, I went to the Accra Hospital training ground. They have a game later on Sunday, and yeah, on my way. And I know I had already booked to be on drive time to talk about the Black Stars. So here we
Exactly,
are.
exactly. I was very happy with the results that came out on Saturday, and you did a fantastic job with the commentary as usual. What are your thoughts on the Black Stars match? What are your thoughts, general thoughts on the match?
Yeah, before that, I heard Inshura talk about the reason why he's not happy,
Mm.
or he's not just go along with the result and say that everything has come to normal. I think it's perfectly okay to feel that way, but I think that it. I would say that for a long time we saw the Black Stars playing again in a particular structure where we could all understand what the team was doing, where there was a form to what they were doing, where it wasn't like we were wondering, are we playing 4-3-3 or 4-2-2 or who is passing the ball. This time we saw the Black Stars playing some very good football, passing the ball around, finding each other, using the wings, using whatever it is. And you could see that there was a way, there was a method to what they were doing for a long time. Now, I just talk about the key things as I saw the game. I think Coach Milovan Rayevac 11 years ago, when he was in charge of the Black Stars, made sure that he handed the opportunity to the young boys who had proven that they could do it. I think in this game he did exactly the same thing. He gave Fatah Zahaku, the boy from Steadfast, the under 20 AFCON, let me call it, yeah, the most valuable player at the under 20, just under the 20 AFCON. Yeah, he gave him the chance to play on the right. He gave Kamaldeen Sulemana, a young man from Rennes, the chance to play on the left. And then he handed goalkeeper Jojo Wolakos an opportunity as well to start. All in all, I think the team played well. Mohamed Kudus was like the star guy, the star man in the game who did so well. In the beginning, it looked like we were trying a little bit of Didi Ayew in the midfield, didn't work out, and then the coach made some quick substitutions after Mohamed Kudus scored the goal. He made quick substitutions. He took Jordan Ayew off,
Off, right.
and then took Fatah Isahaku off as well, and were able to get the 3 goals. So I think Milovan Rayevac exactly knew what he was doing, and it's a good place to start from.
But so talking about Milo, do you think that we should give him the full credit of the win on Saturday?
Yes, I think we should give him the full credit because he changed a number of things. He played Daniel Amate, who we know to play normally as centre back or in the central defensive midfield. He put him at right back. He needed to think about it because he realized that Daniel Amate was going to give him the best at right back. So he put Daniel Amate at right back. That's improvisation. He handed Fatah Isahaku, who has been in this Black Stars team for the past 4 or 5 call-ups, the chance to play at right. Kamaldeen Sulemana, who was playing at right, under the former coach, was allowed to play at left. So he came in with a plan. He had to go through it. And then when his initial starting 11 didn't seem to be holding up as much in the second half when we're losing the second ball, he switched up again. He brought Idrisu Mohammed, the Mallorca boy, into the midfield to free Thomas Partey, who scored the goals 3 minutes or so after. And then also brought Dede Ayew. Of course, put Dede Ayew down to the right. And he brought in Benjamin Tete, the striker from Turkey, to also come and do the job. So it's clear that the coach knew what he was doing, and his plan worked out. Clearly. You can't take anything away from Milo because he's only been with this team for 4 days, and he was able to understand them to an extent where they'll be able to play. So I understand the issues when people say that, it's just normal when a new coach comes. Yes, there's a balance. Everybody wants to play well, but the coach has to take some serious decisions. And the most serious decision that he took is that he wanted to stick by that young man, put Fatal Sahaku, who has not played a game for the Black Stars before, put him at the right in a game when he really needed a win, just like he did 11 years ago when he gave the DIU and Co the opportunity from under 20 level. So I give everything to Milovan Raivat. He knows what he's doing.
Okay, but I don't know about Insurance. Do you agree with George?
George has made some very sound points. I'm inclined to agree with him, but I think that my concern with the Black Stars, again, will not be simply based on this result. Milo's previous stint with the Black Stars 11 years ago, we saw, George, for me, I think 2010 AFCON, we played with a team that was built around the under 20 winning side. You know, you had a very inexperienced team which went all the way, but for the experience of the Pharaohs of Egypt,
right.
they would have won the AFCON then. Milo's pedigree is not in doubt. Success is doing things and coming, you know, getting great results, you know, consistently. My question is, does this spell great times ahead for us? He had to improvise. This is the team he has. Does he have the depth of another 3 sets of these boys that he can turn around in subsequent games when he's playing against, you know, tacticians that are better? And mind you, well, all respect to Zimbabwe, but up until now, Zimbabwe has only ever beaten us once in the AFCON of, I think, 2006 or so. Prior to that, they had never beaten us. I feel that we have a dearth of talent, and it's compounded by what I think is a certain level of administrative inefficiencies. And if we're going to be a nation to be feared on any platform where football is played globally, it is not bringing Milo that will get us there. But it is like putting a band-aid on a cut that requires a stitch and proper care.
Okay. So you don't think we need to give any credit to Milo?
Oh no. For this game, it's all Milo.
Okay.
The boys played with belief. Yeah, George.
Yeah, let me say this. In short, let me even add that Zimbabwe, prior to playing the Black Stars, hasn't won a game in the last 14 games or so. They haven't won a game yet. So yeah, it's a team that is struggling to win and all of that. All that said, the problem we have faced in Ghana, I think, is not really a lack of talent, but it's about the coaches failing to be bold enough to hand the opportunity to the men that truly deserve it. I'll take you back to Klorewa in 2008. Klorewa saw a young JDIU and put him in the Black Stars team, and everybody was going at Klorewa. Why do you put this guy there? Oh, is it because he's talent, and whatnot? He stuck with him. So the JDIU was the captain.
Right.
We saw Antonianan being weaved into the Black Stars setup. A young man playing his local football got into it. We saw Milo do that for Lee Addy, who jumped into a Black Star squad right from the Ghana Premier League. We saw Celia Eliasu from Kotoko, from K5 out to Kotoko, jump into the Black Star team 2006 and play the World Cup. So the talent is there. Kamaldeen Sulemana played his last game for Rennes against Paris Saint-Germain with Messi and Neymar, and he came up with the most dribble, the most everything. He assisted one of the goals that ensured that they won. So we have talent. Fatal Sahaku has shown us what he can do. Thomas Partey is doing his best at Arsenal. We can see Mohamed Kudus is playing well at Ajax. Joao Familia is doing well at his club level. So we have the talent. It's about someone to organize them. And the coach who has the ball. If you're calling for a coach who has the ball, it's Milovan Raivat.
Well, I'm inclined to agree
and that's why. Okay, so that's why I am confident. That's why I am confident that, you know, he will do a good job with the Black Stars. We cannot conclude on this game, but I think that he's the kind of guy for where we are. Your issues with the general look of raising talent and all, that one we will talk about it later on. But now where we are is try to qualify for the World Cup and see if we can win the AFCON. I think we've got some talent if we can we can work on them and organize them properly, I think we can do something. And Milo seems to be the guy.
I would love for us to win AFCON and also make it to the World Cup. I mean, I would love to go back to Qatar. But here's the point I'd like to make, George. In all the examples that you gave of the coaches that were able to make bold decisions, none of them was Ghanaian.
Yes. That's why I don't go for Ghanaian coaches. That's why I have a problem with them.
But for how long? You get my point. For how long?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me announce the phone number to call 0302-216-541. Would really want to have your thoughts on Drive on Joy, on exactly what Milovan Rahivac did. What do you think? Not exactly what do you think. What do you make of his performance? Do you think we should give him the full credit of making it a point to win the match against Zimbabwe? But I also have Hans in here. Hans, what are your thoughts on the match, especially with the performance of Milovan Rahivac?
Well, I think that it was an improved performance, an improvement of what we have seen prior to his coming. I mean, I don't want to go back to Sigi Akono because my
but you were here. You made some really good points. Yeah.
Exactly. My position on Akono is well known. But I mean, just in terms of the collective as a team, I think that they played better. Individuals also stepped up. It's about the best game we had seen from Kamaldeen Sulemana since his emergence as a Black Stars player. Kudus played one of his best games for the Black Stars of Ghana. Probably one of the best games you have seen Andre Dede Ayew play for some time now, also for the Black Stars of Ghana. Even Jordan Ayew, had one of his best games for the Black Stars for a while now. So just in terms of the individual players, yes, massive improvement. As a team, I think they looked more formidable, as a unit. They played more as a unit than we have seen in previous matches. So yeah, all round improvement. Lots of positive to draw from it, but there were also a few worrying moments that we need to deal with. The central defensive partnership of Jiku and Jonathan Mensah, for instance, is something that needs to be addressed, because I tell you what, against a more quality opponent, we are going to be punished, and you are looking at a World Cup qualifying format where you top your group, you are going into a two-legged playoffs, potentially against some of the top sides on the continent. You are talking possibly against Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria, Algeria, Morocco, Egypt, any of them.
Right.
And when you come up against attackers like Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane and Riyad Mahrez, they are going to punish you if your central defensive pair or anywhere along the defense is not up to scratch. And so those are things that we need to work on, but lots of positives to build on.
Okay, let me go on to the phones. Hello. Yes, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Your name and where you're calling us from, please.
My name is Kweku. I'm calling from Lashipi.
Okay, Kweku, what do you make of Milovan's performance on Saturday? Do you think he's the future?
Well, so we have a history with him already, right? And then we know where he got us to during the World Cup in 2010. But we'll say it's early days yet to make any such pronouncements. I believe that a coach matters, and Milo has brought something into the team that would make us see the exciting football we used to see with the Black Stars playing. I mean, until last Saturday, I hadn't seen the Black Stars play that good. You understand? Yes, talk about the opposition they played against will probably be a very softer opposition. But trust me, I believe there's something has been injected into the team that even if they meet a tougher opposition, they can still produce something for us. It was exciting watching the Black Stars play. And I was glad to see Dede Ayew score the final goal. And this is something we were lacking in the very past coach that we had. I don't want to mention names, but I think, yes, he's going to do something for us. The material is there. It's just a matter of being experienced enough to know how to mix them up. And then the results will come. So, yes, I think it's the future for the Black Stars, yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Kweku. That's what Kweku says. Back into the studio. Hans.
Yeah, so, I mean, lots of positives to build on, but I am being cautiously optimistic because there's still a very long way to go. This is far from a formidable team. And when I'm talking a formidable team, look, we've had a formidable team before. I want to see a Black Stars that looks something like what we had from 2007 up until somewhere 2014. I want to see something like that. I want to see a Black Stars, individuals who mature to the levels that we saw John Painter, John Mensah, Michael Essien, Suleiman Muntari mature to. But the crop of individuals that we have got a long way to go. This is not the peak of Mohamed Kudus. Kamaldeen is far from his peak. Abdul Fattah Isahaku far from his peak. Alexander Jiku, I'm not sure this is his peak. And so we still have a long way to go in terms of building the individuals up.
Yeah.
Also a long way to go in terms of getting the individual players to function
as a team.
As a unit. I interviewed John Paintil about 3 weeks ago, and he tells me that, look, at a point, they could virtually select themselves and go and play. Why? Because you had a number of them who had played at international tournament dating back to 2001 at the youth level. Okay?
Yeah.
Paintil, John Mensah, Michael Essien, Derek Boateng, Razak Pimpon. These were players who featured for Ghana in the under-20 in 2001.
And they understood each
By
other.
By 2006, they were part of our first World Cup team. And they came all the way to 2008 Nations Cup, came to the 2010 Nations Cup, 2010 World Cup. And so they had been together for a long time.
Okay, let me go on to the
What
phones.
we need is consistency in the selection.
Okay, consistency in the selections is what Hans says. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, sir.
Kofi.
Yes, how are you?
Yeah, Kofi, good afternoon. This is Ajman Joseph.
Yes, I know that. Ajman Joseph, what do you make of Milovan's... I'm very well, thanks.
Yeah, the debate going on, I am for George Ayu Jr. Completely. Though Milo, when he came for the first time, the crop of players he was using, they were having names and matured. But now, he's able to select the kind of player who hasn't gotten that name. They are willing to fight for the nation. Look at the positions that he's using the players to play. For me, it was an impressive performance. You see, even by then, when he was having this great players, he was saying that he always comes with one goal project. But when he scored one and equalized, I thought it was going to be 2-1. But look at it, it was 3-1. So I would say that it is even much improved because he just came and gathered these players within a short time. And look at the vintage performance that they are putting up. So for me, whether Senegal, Algeria, Egypt, Burkina Faso, Charlie, the way these guys are determined to go to the World Cup, I mean, they can go. Because, you know, these young players are yet to win laurels for the country. And they also want to come up. And you could see that apart from them playing with their heart out, Milo was making tactical changes. Look at Jordan, he realized that no, Jordan should be taken off. You understand? So Milo, for now, though it's early days yet, but I mean, I can tell for a fact that when these players play for some time, they will gel. So I start with George. I'll give you statistics.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. We're going to go back to George, but before that, Inshallah, I'd like to take your thoughts on...
Ajman Joseph made a point laden with a lot of caveats. It's early days yet,
Yes.
but I can tell you that, as a matter of fact, determination. You can't measure determination in one game. One of the arguments that had been made was that Milo inherited a great crop of players in his first stint.
Yeah, back then.
That means we had some quality. We don't have the same situation today. So to the game now, the onus was on the boys to actually rise to the occasion and deflect attention from the dearth of talent that we have at the moment.
All right.
Time will tell.
Sure. Let me pick another caller. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm fine by His grace. How are you too?
I'm very well, thanks. What are your thoughts on Milovan's performance on Saturday's match?
Excellent. If the credit will not be given to Milo, why did they sack Siki Akuno? If it was Siki Akuno who won that match, would they sack him? So the credit must go to Milo. He has done well. He should continue. If the GFA official will not be part of the player selection, things will be well for Ghana. Thank you.
Thank you very much. If we move on that way, things will be well for Ghana. This one says there is a lot to work on. Looking at Ghana, we deserve better achievement than this. And that's from No Excuses Inside DC. Do I still have George on the line? George?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
So,
I'm here.
George, your final thoughts?
This is the final thoughts, and I'll pick on what one of the things that Hans did say, that, again, we need to look at the problems and try to solve it. One of the reasons why I like Milovan Raivat is it will be very, very difficult to push him around and tell him what to do or try and convince him to use a certain player. Now, Milovan Raivat using Daniel Amati at right back just sends a signal that in that team, when you had Philemon Balfour, the Dreams FC guy, as a supposed right back, he has just sent a signal that the guy is probably not good enough or he wasn't good for the game. Milovan Rivas, immediately Jordan Ayew looked like he had allowed 1 or 2 balls to run out. He substituted him. When Fatawa Sahaku had the opportunity to go wide and cut in 2 or 3 times, he substituted him. He's not there to play. Milovan is not there to play. That's one of the reasons why I think he's going here. But Inshallah, we'll have to revisit this on another day on the kind of quality we have. It may not be up to what we had in 2010, but it's still good enough to work on.
Right. Inshallah, he says, I mean, what we have is good enough to work on.
Okay. Well, I really would want for us to win, but
what we have is, yes, they've shown quite a lot of promise, but like I mentioned, if we go back to that haphazard sort of call-ups that we've been doing, one moment you are calling a particular club of players, the next moment another crop. By the time CK Akona was done with his tenure, he had called up about over 70 new players, 70 different players during his tenure. So like I mentioned, we need consistency in the way we call up the players. These players have shown a lot of promise. Let's be consistent. One of the things I mentioned earlier was the fact that the previous team that Milo inherited had played together in at least 3 international tournaments dating back to 2001. Can we do the same with this group? Now, I have the benefit of history. If you go back in time to, say, 1998, after the 1998 FIFA World Cup qualifiers where, we were done in by Morocco, Mustafa Haji and co came to Ghana and beat us by 2-1. The mistake we made was that one moment we are calling up Kim Grant, the next moment we are calling Atta Kennedy, the next moment we are calling another kind of striker. It was just a mess. No consistency to the way we were doing things. We had to struggle up until the boys went to the 2001 under-20 and made it all the way to the final.
Right.
And then we sort of promoted the bulk of them. So the core of the team that qualified us to the 2006 World Cup was from the under-20 in 2001 team.
A demonstration of the consistency.
You understand? So it's consistency. One of the problems we've had is that one moment a player scores, 2 goals against Barcelona, and then suddenly everybody is saying that player has to be called up. The reverse, and let me tell you about Spain. When Spain won the 2008 Euros, came to the 2010 World Cup and won it, went to the 2012 Euros and won it, you had a period where Fernando Torres at Chelsea was misfiring. Michu was at Swansea, banging in goals week in, week out. Torres was struggling, and yet
Torres started.
Torres was consistently getting called up. Michu was not getting called up. Okay, so we need to raise the bar for players. Look, if you want to get into the current team, do more than scoring a goal here or tackling Messi there or those kind of things. And also to my colleagues in the media as well, the hype around players sometimes is a bit too much. Let's raise the bar for Ghanaian players. We are calling up players from Azerbaijan and Vietnam and in leagues that we are not supposed to be calling players from.
Anyway.
Or because there are people on social media making noise about a player because he scored 1 goal, he scored a word. Okay. Let's have some consistency to the call-ups.
Okay, let's have some consistency. That's what Hans says. Thank you so much. And Charlie, we are taking this conversation onto Twitter. Make sure that you join us using the hashtag #DriveOnJoy. Grace Ashi says, Black Stars.
Drive time on Joy 99.7 FM.